This is a reflection for week 7. I thought again it was pretty straightforward, but if I am remembering correctly, the problem set right here. Yeah, I thought it was pretty straightforward, especially on the problem set. Like determining 10 times a single digit number is literally just the single digit number plus how many zeros is added, and that is always the case. So 10 times 1 is 10, 10 times 2 is 20, 100 times 1 is 100, 100 times 2 is 200, 1,000 times 2 is 2,000. So I think that is pretty straightforward in comparison. And I liked how we talked about on the distributive property. I like that a lot, and it did help me a lot in there because I had read something about if you take 5 and multiply by a number and you divide that number by 2 and you add a 0 at the end, that is, or at least for an even number. So if you take an even number like 20, you divide it by half. So 20 divided by half is 10, and then you add a 0 if you're multiplying by 5. The same thing if it's like, there was a question, it was 5 times 25. You would take 25, you divide that by 2, so it's 12 and a half. And then you would add a 0 to it, making it 125. And same thing with, let's say, 40. So 5 times 40. You divide 40 by 2 to get you 20, and then you add a 0 at the end to give you 200. So I think that was a cool thing that I could definitely share with the kids in the future if I do teach math. As well as they touched on the topic of area of a rectangle and the distributive property as well. I did have problems on question 7 because I didn't really know how to explain it other than just doing like normal multiplication, like 2 digits times 2 digit, because everything that I was coming up with was seeming like it was wrong, because it was, what was it? Yep, 31 times 25. I was thinking that you could break it down into 30 plus 1 and put that in parentheses, and then in another parenthesis put 20 plus 5, and then distribute it out as a distributive property. But it kept on giving me the wrong answer. It kept on giving me like, what would that be? I'm trying to think what it was. I think it was like 1,200 or something like that, which just isn't the right answer. I think it's 775. So other than that, I think it was straightforward, and I learned a little bit of stuff too as well, which is cool.